predictable lead flow, predictable revenue, right? I know some people have a team they need to feed. Bills are coming due, right? We need sales on the high ticket offer and just on the offer in general. We need people coming into the pipeline that want what we have to offer, right? So I'm going to break down in this video how in the next 7 days, acquisition ascension and implementing some levers upfront that you can do completely for free are going to allow you to collect cash within the next 7 days and help you go on to scale your offer, right? And ideally, if acquisition ascension makes sense for you and you stick around this video and you comment B2B below, we're going to break down a free acquisition game plan for you and your business to give you some systems that you can implement completely in-house. I think it's important for entrepreneurs today to have a marketing system that is sustainable inside their business, right? I'll be the first to tell you, I come from the agency space, right? It's time to stop paying for agencies, right? Getting burned by agencies, outsourcing marketing, having a bunch of bad partnerships, right? Because at the end of the day, only you know how to truly scale your business, right? And you need to create true systems and operating procedures, scaling a team, pulling the right acquisition levers, dialed in for your business, completely in-house, right? And running at a high level. Again, I'm just going to go over the systems that you can implement up front to allow you to basically collect cash fast in the next 7 days, as well as at the end, I'm going to throw in the bonus of just a neuromarketing method that you see a lot of these high-level creators doing, okay? And just exactly what it looks like and how it's converting, right? So this is really the acquisition ascension process, right? These are going to be your main levers, okay? You're going to have outbound, ads, and inbound, right? Everywhere should lead to booked meetings, okay? So we need to go over exactly what levers you're pulling right now, okay? I hope you guys have a pen and paper and pause this video and honestly answer these questions that I'm going to be going through, right? Because you need to understand, okay, what are the main levers I'm pulling right now, right? Is it just referrals, word of mouth? Okay, now how many do I actually get per month, right? Okay, am I doing cold DMs, right? And how many actual, what's my KPIs on that, right? Okay, maybe I'm sending only 20, 30 a day, right? When I can at night, in bed when, I got actual time to do a little bit of outreach, right? How many responses do you actually get a week, a month, right? Track those, okay? Are you running ads? What's the best performing ones? What's your average cost per conversion, right? And, what's your actual ROAS, okay? And then inbound, right? What content is the best performing, right? What messaging does my audience really want to hear, okay? Now, this gets special, right, when we dial in the messaging across every single lever, and it's the same. It's completely congruent, right? Whether you're running, the credibility-driven type of funnel, right, showing your expertise, or you're pulling out the curiosity-driven funnel, right, which so many people in this space do, right, getting just people to opt in about new business models and the offer, right, or you're leveraging just the engagement type of credibility-driven, right, where you're just pushing clicks, right, kind of doing a little bit of trendy stuff, right. What is working for you, your audience, your marketing angle, right? Dial that in. Okay, this is going to be step one no matter what you do as far as moving into an actual lever you need to pull. Okay, and if you have something that's already working, right, this is why tracking KPIs is so important, right? If you have something that's already working, double down. Guys, it's not overly complicated. Cut the fat, right? And what's working, okay, let's throw fuel on the fire in the areas in which it's working, okay? But these are the three main levers that once you dial in and you're able to throw fuel on the fire, that you guys will be able to scale extremely fast for a long time, okay? That's what everyone's doing, right? So outbound, okay, we leverage AI, and when I say AI, we mean tools to do the lead refinement, the scraping, the manual, let's say the mass outreach. We leverage bots and multiple agent accounts on multiple platforms, right? And guys, it's working. Our team booked around 11 calls last week alone from just outbound, not to mention ads and the inbound stuff we have coming in, right? When you run the right strategy, that's what truly matters, okay? No matter what niche you're in, right? Even in the funding space, we have a lot of funding and credit repair people and the financial consultants, right? Even in the tech space, where they have to, declare their ads and, the cost per actual conversion is up and the lead quality is down, right? Just across the board with even outbound ads, right? But when you dial in the right systems and know your messaging and who you're targeting and who you're talking to and allow yourself to go upstream to those B2B people, it becomes really easy, right? Because through outbound, we're able to refine the leads down to, a title in their bio, right? A certain amount of followers, right? And that allows for more push and clicks to the profile, right? Which allow for, again, inbound. And then if they don't convert here from the inbound stuff, and they follow, and then you're running story sequences and the content, right? Now that they've even hit the profile, they're going to get hit with the ads, right? Because of retargeting and the clicking, right? And so now they're going to hit with the ads, which is again going to push them back to the profile, which is going to all entail for booked meetings, right? Okay, now what's it look like off the booked meeting pipeline, right? And so right now I'm breaking down acquisition ascension. Then I'm going to dive into just a 7-day game plan you can use to collect cash extremely fast. Again, if you're still sticking around and this is making sense, right? Go ahead and comment below B2B, right? I'm going to give you over this full acquisition doc. Here, let me pull it up, right? With you guys, right? So we had different offers, obviously, right? But I'm going to give you guys over the full acquisition ascension SOPs, right? To dial in every step of this process, exactly how you're going to basically refine everything and launch and basically scale at a really high level, right? We have all the systems completely built out of exactly how to, one, push booked meetings, right? Like this is what acquisition ascension is going to fix, right? You're going to launch the acquisition levers and you're going to get a shit ton of booked meetings, okay? Now, after the booked meeting, what happens, right? Okay, well, if they don't close, we need to follow up and they need to enter a drip, which is completely automated, right? And then after, if these people aren't converting after 2 weeks, we're going to send a targeted voice note. I can dive into that further, right? But everything's going to lead back to, SMS, email automations, right? They're staying top of mind with these people, whoever booking meeting and, no show or, you following up with them after the call one, right? Pushing everybody back to closing. Okay, because re-nurturing and reactivating a lot of your leads, staying top of mind because there is pain. They're not getting on these sales calls if they don't have pain, right? And so that means you can offer them something that solves their pain, right? And that's why, we have a lot of immediate deliverables for our clients that come on, from outbound automation to ad SOPs to inbound strategy SOPs, like the whole 9 yards of how to really truly scale your offer and plug in back-end systems that are going to allow you to just project your business and build something sustainable. Again, predictable lead flow is consistent revenue, and with consistent revenue, you can genuinely go on to scale the right levers and know what levers need to be pulling and where you can start dumping money back into, right? And guys, that's the true freedom kind of in this new age marketing space that we're allowed to do if you just leverage, the right systems, okay? Again, for us, immediate deliverables, you're going to get access to the full outbound automation, the full acquisition ascension, depending on which package you pick, right? Our back-end systems. And then we're going to go through onboarding. And through onboarding, we're going to dial in your full offer overhaul. So making that messaging congruent, right? So we show you guys and go over exactly how to dial in every lever, right? Okay, through ICP identification, product market fit, your branding. We're going to dial in the messaging, the hooks. All right, answers are going to populate into the Notion. That way you do have one true centralized system where it's just your backend infrastructure. You can start onboarding setters, sales closers, setting up actual true systems for you to go on and scale your business. Okay, we're going to have our outbound messages and angles populated and dialed. We like to split test about 5 different variants on the bot when doing outreach, so we can see, okay, what messaging is working the best, tracking those KPIs, right? Understanding the bottlenecks and taking that messaging, helping it dial in, just kind of create this ecosystem of, ad angles, inbound angles, things like that, rolling out targeted long form, okay? Personalizing every step of this process with you guys, right? The full backend infrastructure, the full outbound automation, lead scraping and refinement SOPs, how to buy agent accounts, how to warm them up, right? What softwares you need to purchase, right? To do the mass outbound, okay? Committing to the marketing messages, going over the ad launch. Make sure we have the KPI tracker just dialed in and it's very clear what needs to happen every single day, right, for your business to get pushed forward. Like I said, I think it's important to make this a seamless process of going to scale, right? Plugging in systems that are going to work in the marketplace and for your offer and your messaging, right? Again, in the market, right? And it's truly important to dial that in now more than ever because the market is moving so fast. Okay, again, it's easier and harder than ever at the same time, right? And this is just where you have to leverage the right systems and procedures, right? And get around the people that know what they're doing, Okay, guys, I come from scaling a successful lead gen company in the SMMA space. I scaled a successful sales company in the insurance space. My business partner scaled a successful copywriting company. We've taken all of this information and knowledge of just how to actually build and scale, right, and what these actual systems look like at a high level, and now just are giving out the SOPs for people to do it for themselves, right, and basically automate and delegate their entire acquisition process. Okay. Now, I promised you guys I was going to dive into how to make money fast in the next 7 days. Okay, guys? Well, what we're going to do here is get you guys closer to these KPIs right here. All right? Right? And what these KPIs are going to do is book consistent meetings on your calendar for your high ticket offer. As you guys can see, this is just from outbound. This is the acquisition ascension meeting link from just our outbound link, right? And it's going to allow you to do around that 300 to 500 targeted DMs a day. Okay, leveraging some bots and some aged accounts. I'm going to dive into exactly where you're going to need to go get this up and running, guys. Okay, and as well, I'm going to show you guys, again, that neuromarketing method at the very end as a bonus. If you stick around, I know it's 11 minutes in, so you can, again, collect cash fast in the next 7 days. Okay, so these outbound levers are going to allow you to do 300 to 500 targeted DMs per day. Okay, guys, you're going to need to go to Instant Data Scraper. That's going to be a lead scraping tool, right? A Google Chrome extension. Okay, you're going to find a targeted profile of people in your niche. So if you're in the business niche, finance niche, right? Okay, you want to go upstream, target real estate investors. Okay, where do they reside, right? Is it in the Facebook groups? Is it, do they follow Grant Cardone? Do they comment under someone's post, right? Where is your target audience? You're going to use Instant Data Scraper as a Chrome extension, launch it, and it's going to scrape those leads on that profile. Okay, guys? And then you're going to take that and you're going to plug it in depending on the platform, right? So IG and Facebook is going to be something that you can get probably the fastest results with when leveraging the right systems, okay? Again, these are just some easy systems you can do pretty much for free right now. Again, we use different systems. We're doing around 1,500 targeted DMs a day inside our business right now, and we leverage a different software, but you have to get that, obviously if you come on the call, we'll personalize every step of the exact systems we use with you and for you, right? But then you're going to leverage the IG DM bot, okay? And what that looks like is the blue Telegram icon, okay? And you're going to need multiple aged accounts. And so what that looks like, guys, you're going to go to Z2U, right, .com, and you're going to type in account in Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, and you're going to go buy aged accounts, and you're going to build them in congruence with you. It's going to take about a week process of nurturing it, right? So day one, and again, we have these full SOPs in our backend systems, and you can get them if you comment or DM B2B, and we'll send them over to you in a full app on automation, just breakdown. Okay, guys, helping personalize it with you. And then, so IGDM bot, Instant Data Scraper, and and then the Z2U to buy the platforms, to buy the other accounts. Okay, you're gonna log in day one, then you're gonna start, changing the email, change your username, let it know that it's a messaging account for your main one. Tag your main one in the bio so they can click back to the funnel, right? Have your funnel link in there as well. Okay, guys, and then you're gonna split test new messaging. So when you're going to launch the bot, right? You're gonna set some delays. You need to do for Instagram less than 10 per hour, right? And so again, that's why it's important you leverage multiple accounts so you can do around 40 to 50 an hour. Do that for 10, 8 hours, and there you go. You're gonna hit those KPIs at 300 to 500 mark, right? And genuinely go on to collect some cash super fast, okay? And then in the next 7 days, right, you're gonna get that up and running, outbound running, where AI and some tools and some bots are going to be pulling those levers completely for you. You're going to respond back to the positive responses, and especially if you're running a good offer, you should 100% get positive responses, especially when you talk to your targeted ICP. And then again, obviously, we have a lead refinement process that we dive into. If you comment or DM B2B, we have the lead refinement process broken down of how when you scrape the leads, you can now take that leads list and make that just nothing but targeted leads, plug it into the bot, run the right automation and the messaging when it's all dialed and congruent, and just get a shit ton of opt-ins, right? Because that's what it's about, is pulling, again, the acquisition levers that are going to allow you to just have an ecosystem of high-quality, profitable leads. All right, guys? And then I told you if you stuck around to the end, you would also get the neuromarketing method. Okay, guys? And I want to show you exactly what that looks like here. It's one of our bonuses. Okay, it's the neuromarketing method. Okay, this used to be our complete front end offer where we would tell people we'd make them money. We'd make them 10K within 7 days. And then, it worked really well. It positioned us up front as the expert. And then, we went on to do the upsell, right? But it's a story sequence, right? And this works really if you have followers or you just have some people in your audience that need to push over the edge and they're just targeted followers, right? This is when it really works. It's going to be a 5-post story sequence, okay? It's going to be screenshot of best testimonial, screenshot of second best testimonial, and then the third best, okay? Then aesthetic photo of you and your business just showing kind of freedom, lifestyle, whatever that is. Opening up 5 spots for offers. Swipe up with me if you want desired outcome. Aesthetic photo, we only have 5 spots, so swipe up if you're serious about desired outcome, right? And then you go through a setting process, but this is what it looks like, right? Students have been killing it lately. Oh, let me go back. Dang, my fault, Twizzy. All right. Students have been killing it lately, right? Let me zoom in. Boom, boom, closing deals, another screenshot, boom. Okay, curiosity, right? Opening up 5 spots. I'm in Cartagena right here, right? Opening up 5 spots for one-on-one mentorship because we're taking some boys to 10K a month, right? This is just a little friendly back-end offer we run to just some people that are in the marketing space. And then boom, only taking on 5 students. And yeah, then you just get opt-ins and you DM set them and you close them. Guys, it's not overly complicated, right? It's no need for all these complicated marketing systems and doing manual outreach anymore, right? Leverage those quick levers and run those right there. And I promise you will get some opt-ins and get some interest so you can get ahead, right? It's time to start allowing the compound effect to take place. All right, guys, I hope this was beneficial and helpful, and I hope you guys can see again how acquisition ascension can help you scale. And if you want, the full kind of outbound automation guide and want to learn more, make sure you comment or DM B2B and go follow us on IG at SaulnaDigital. All right, guys, and we'll see you at the top. Peace.